Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of my Off the Track podcast. This week we have the FIA Rally Star program driver Max Smart with us. So, Max, how you doing, pal? You all right?
Hey Fergus, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on your podcast, bro.
Oh, not at all, man. Not at all. No, super happy to have you on. It's good to have somebody that's nice and like-minded and a bit kind of derailed and off the hinges, the same as myself. So, it's good to have you on, and hopefully we'll have some good chats and get into it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah. So, tell me, what is the FIA Rally Star? How did you come about that, and how did you get into it?
So FIA Rally Star was actually a young driver talent search where FIA was looking for rally drivers with raw talents from all around the world, and they actually did a whole bunch of selection events across a bunch of different continents. So they picked one driver from every continent of the world, and they got a fully sponsored season in the rallying like all across Europe this year in 2023, with the hopes to be a part of the top 4 drivers that get into the Junior World Rally Championship for 2024. And I won for Africa. So I'm from South Africa, and yeah, I won the African Continental Final of FIA Rally Star.
That's over 7 continents. The entries in that must have been huge. Like, how did you even find out about that?
Yeah, so we looked back on it in the team recently, and I think there was like just under 8,000 entries from all around the world. And I actually found out about it through an email that my dad got on from Motorsport South Africa, because at the time I was racing motocross and you had to have a competition license, and when I got my license I was too young, so it was on my dad's account, and he got the mail from MSA about this whole Be the Next One program with FIA Rally Star, and he was like, there's no ways, this is crazy, like what an opportunity, we got to go for this, and one of the ways that you could enter was actually on a simulator, and
of course, yeah,
and we had actually built a simulator like out of wood like a few years before, and like I'd always loved the rally over like the circuits, just because of the challenge of the stages and stuff. So we were like, wow, and I was pretty good at it also. So we were like, yeah, let's go for this. Let's see what we can do,
So it started. So your background there, literally for this competition, started off in the simulator. Was that like the qualifying rounds on the sim? Was it?
Yeah. So there was a whole bunch of different ways you could qualify, and on the sim was one of them. So there was like online competition on the sim, and then there were actually like arenas set up throughout like your province. So for me, there were a few in Cape Town, and then there was also real life ways to qualify, like doing slalom around cones, at a racetrack. And for me, I went through every single way to qualify on the simulators. And you had to win one of these events to like get a ticket to the African final. And I came I came so close every time. Like on the online one, I came second in Africa, so I didn't get the ticket there. And then in the 2 other ones that were at arenas, I came second in those as well, like after small mistakes and like losing by margin when I was like flying, but before that. And then there was a slalom one, and because I'd made the mistakes in the other ones, I was like, I need to like be consistent here, but then I didn't have the pace. So I thought I was out of the whole competition.
And I actually got you didn't win any of those, and you needed to get first in at least one of them to get in.
Yeah, so I thought I was out of the
whole. How did you get in? How did they take you?
They actually, I got chosen as a wild card for South Africa. But MSA sent me a mail. One day I was like sitting on the couch. It was like maybe a month after the last time I'd competed in a qualification event, and I thought I was out of the whole thing, man. I was just chilling on the couch one day, got a mail from MSA, and then it said that you were chosen as a wild card to go to the South African final, and I started whooping. Awesome. And, yeah, it was sick. So then from there, like I went up to Joburg, which is like a 2-hour flight from Cape Town, and did like another qualification event to be part of the South Africans to go through to the African final. And there I found the balance so much better, and got through to the African final.
So your background isn't anything 4-wheel drive or any like 4 wheels. Am I right in saying that you're a motorbike? Your background is in motocross.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I grew up on bikes. My dad was super passionate about it, and I literally started getting me hooked at 2 years old. No jokes. Hey, he was teaching me throttle control and everything. I couldn't even reach the brakes.
That's
And
awesome, man.
yeah, that was my passion growing up.
Do you know what? I've actually got a little clip of you on the bike that I just absolutely love. So I'm just going to play this just now. I'm going to hopefully this will work.
Let's see it. That is sick.
Oh, is that noise not just make you happy? It's like the best
Yeah.
noise in the world. Like that two-stroke engine. Yes. Honestly, I've got goosebumps just listening to it. Like that is what it's all about, isn't it?
Even
That's
me,
sick,
man.
man. So
There's something
motocross.
on.
So you've been doing all this stuff as you were growing up with your old man and that, and then all of a sudden this comes along and you're like, I'm going to try cars.
Exactly, yeah. So this came along, and as I said, like I always thought rally was flipping awesome sport, and just never been able to get into it because it's like obviously quite an expensive sport,
Yeah.
And then like before going to the African Continental Final, I'd never raced competitively on four wheels in my life, and it was a 3-day event in a cross kart, and it was a pretty quick thing, it had a 750 cc superbike engine in it, and it only weighed like 300 kgs. So it moved really nicely, and we're on like a mixed surface stage with half of it being gravel and half of it being tarmac, And
okay, yeah.
yeah, and there were 29 guys from all over Africa in the African final. And on the first day I went in, and I literally, like, it was the first qualification event that was on dirt, and I grew up on dirt, and with like a nice powerful engine and race machine. And on the first day I qualified 4th overall on the first day, at the end of the first day, and I was like, no ways, like I can do this,
You were 4th out of 29 entries.
Yeah, and it was my first time ever competing on four wheels,
Awesome.
going against guys that had been karting and Polo Cup and some rally drivers even, and yeah, just felt the connection with the machine, and
Excellent.
yeah, and then so it was a 3-day event, and then in the second day, like going into that, I was like, no, like this I will win this, like I can do this, and I just got that in my head as much as I could, and there was no other option, At the end of the second day, there was like a big elimination day, and I qualified. I finished in 2nd overall on that day, so I jumped up again, and so that was really good. And then going into the last day, flipping, it's all on the line, it's an opportunity to change life, man. And like get a full sponsorship rallying across Europe with the hopes to get up to WRC, and so yeah, just literally once again, just mentally 100% there, super focused. And yeah, that day we did like fitness tests, reaction tests, interviews, as well as driving, and
okay, so it's the full package. It's not just about your driving style or your ability to learn. Is it like what they see in you and you as a brand as well, as like a person, like a whole package?
Exactly. They were looking at like the progression that you made throughout the weekend. They were looking at like how you interacted with the mechanics, and just your mindset, and how you would look into this in the future. In the interview, they were asking questions about that, because they want to build champions of the future. And so they were looking for a whole bunch of things. It was like a big combination.
So what happened? So on the final day, did you win then, or did you come second? How did it happen?
So they never published the times for the final day, but the one guy that was just ahead of me, he was really quick, But I'm not exactly sure, because like a few people made mistakes, hit cones and stuff, because like the pressure was high. So I don't know for sure, but
in the end, you won it.
Yeah, exactly, man. All rounded,
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How was that feeling, that first thing for going, right, your dad got this email that probably went into a junk folder to, oh my God, you're up in North Africa and you're rallying these cross carts round in a total like alien thing, and you're just fully sending it, and next thing you're winning this huge list, because it's a prize of a lifetime. It's what every young aspiring rally driver dreams of. This is the Rally Star. This is the stars of tomorrow, and you managed to win it. How did that feel?
Man, I was speechless. When they called my name as the African final winner, I literally just like Man, I just burst into tears because I'd known that day I had completely changed my life, and
Yeah,
I just knew that I was just going to give everything to make my life out of this, and I knew that I had tons to learn, but man, it was just the most special feeling ever. There's nothing like it, you know.
amazing,
Hmm.
amazing. Well, you know what? You've done really well since then, and I'm just going to put up a little clip of some of this year's rallying highlights,
Let's do it.
and we'll get in this. So it's a Rally 3 car, isn't it?
Yeah, M Sport
And
Poland Fiesta Rally 3. It's
excellent, and that is the picture that you can see over my left shoulder. This is the picture of Max and his team. So let's have a wee watch of this.
that is
Absolutely
awesome.
love that, man. Absolutely love that. And you can hear the crowd just loving it. It's just such a cool sport, isn't it?
Man, it is honestly, it's the most beautiful sport. I'm
Fantastic.
super, thankful to be a part of it, man.
Excellent. So this was your first season. So you won this incredible prize, and then you go into it, and then over you get the prize is, what is it? Is it 4, 5, 6 rallies in Europe? Is that what it was? What was it? And then how did you get on? Tell me all about it. How was your first rounds, etc.?
Yeah, so no, exactly. So literally a fully sponsored season, like across Europe, and even like we had a full on training camp before it, and like obviously going into this from no car experience, there was tons to learn, man. And like before the training camp, even I only got in a rally car for the very first time 2 weeks before that. So this year was my first time ever driving a rally car, and like the progression that we found throughout all the rounds is crazy. But with learning comes a few mistakes. So at the beginning of the year, I did make a few mistakes and learn from them. Like that's the thing that you have to do if you make a mistake. Like you just have to have that mentality to say I'm not going to do this again and learn from it. And like the amount we
And what
progressed
are we
in.
talking here, Max? I think you're sugarcoating it. What actually happened? Don't be shy for everyone watching. We want to know what happened.
Yeah, so what's it like I remember when I first got into the rally car, like I was decently quick, for the amount of experience I had. I remember that the times were good, but maybe I was a bit wild in the same sense because like I would like the technique and the thought behind the driving wasn't as much as it is now, and like I would just throw a car into a corner and just manage the oversteer and get out the other side. And that can catch you out sometimes, especially when you got a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
So I remember that I had one bad crash at the start of the season, and that was in Austria. It
Right.
was
Okay.
actually in the pre-event test for our rally there in Austria, which was a tarmac event, and this was
The
my first tarmac
pre-event
event.
test. Wow. So you didn't
Yeah.
even. It wasn't a shakedown. You didn't even get to the event.
No, man, like it
Oh
was
my
actually
god.
like it was just a complete experience thing.
Yeah.
The day was going good, and there was this one corner with the cut, and yourself in tarmac, if you a corner with the cuts on tarmac, it throws all that like gravel on the road and becomes really slippery,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you have to be perfectly online to get through it. And like I went and I did my first like passes of the test, and yeah, that was cool. But the after all the other drivers had driven, the road had developed, and I came through again into this corner with the cut, and I was probably 20 centimeters offline. And I put my wheels on the dirty stuff, and it was just in the wrong place. And I had I went off a bank and I had a roll, but damaged the car too much to start the event because the event was
Oh
starting pretty
no.
much the next day. So it was like, it was quite a hectic moment in the season. But in the same breath, like I just like said, like, the best, they don't get disheartened, and that this will only make me, do better, and learn more, because like it was definitely a really tough feeling to not be able to start the rally, for making like a mistake like that in a pre-event test. So it was a hard knock, but we came back tenfold, after that. Like, just decided
He
that
certainly did. He
there was
certainly
lots
did.
more
So, so coming back from that, so obviously I understand that the team were extremely supportive, weren't they? They tried to kind of keep your head as healthy and as positive as they could. Is that right?
No, exactly. This the Rally Star team was phenomenal. They were like, they were very supportive in that time, and even though it was still really early days, and I had, like they were like, they believe in me to like go through the year and stuff, and we put together plans so that I could carry on the season. But no, they were really, really supportive. They were, 100%,
Yeah.
man. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And you've got like obviously in the motocross you've just got yourself, but now you step into the rally in this completely alien environment where you've got to listen to pace notes, and you're driving, to all these kind of different feelings in the car, and this relationship with a co-driver. So obviously, your co-driver Cameron Fair, who's a good friend of both of ours, and that's ultimately how we met. How did that pairing come about? And obviously, with Cammy, ERC co-driving champion.
Yeah, no, exactly. So once again, another complete the different thing about the sport, and working with the co-driver is something really special, and the bond that you can get in the car when everything's flowing and clicking, it's amazing. But I actually got linked up with Cam like midway through the season, after that crash, like a few months later and stuff. I was doing a bunch of training in the UK, and like I wanted to like get a co-driver that was like a bit older, that has like a lots of experience, and that I can learn from. And Cameron, being a European champion,
Yeah,
and a really, really talented co-driver, and just like a nice, cool guy that's calm and like nice to, really awesome to work with. We
yeah.
decided to partner up for the remainder of the season, and it was insanely good. As we both know, that guy is he's super good at what he does, and he taught me a lot.
Absolutely. A complete depth of experience and professionalism with Cammy is, what I've found with, the times that I've been out wrecking with him and stuff. And hats off to the guy. Huge achievement for what him and John Armstrong have done. Super proud of them as well. So, but yeah, so that pairing with you and Cammy, like what sort of things did Cammy do with you? And you mentioned obviously, so you were UK bound for like a training camp. How did that go? I mean, ultimately, I know that you ended up on Mull, but how did you end up on Mull, and what were you doing there in the first place?
Yeah, so what did I came to the UK from South Africa in between, like we had a small break in the season, and like I knew that I just needed to gain lots on experience, and learn how to compete and stuff like that on four wheels. So I came over with the training plan of doing a whole bunch of events outside, from hill climbs to rally sprints to, I mean, not rally sprints, like sprint schools and single venue
Yeah,
rallies and proper like stage rallies. So there was a whole variety of things there, and the reason that I ended up on Mull was to actually work with Cameron on pace notes, because as you know, pace notes is a huge side of rally,
yeah,
and like something that I had never been exposed to before in my life, and it was something that I really needed to practice and learn. And Cameron was really open to do this with me, and to work on Mull, which you've done the Mull Rally, how crazy some of the roads are on Mull. You're actually
yeah.
the winner of Mull Rally this year, so
Thank
you'll know
you.
all too well, man. So we went out and did lots of recce practice around the island.
Yeah, no, they're certainly great roads for learning pace notes and how to use them, and lots of reconnaissance at night and stuff, because when you're going about in the road car, to be honest, the rally car, we're used to spot lamps, etc., and at the night we can see quite a lot. But with your standard kind of lights that you've got in the road car, and you're going around, going around, you can't see very far, you can't see very well. It's very kind of dark nights there. And for you, a completely unknown road. It was probably a really good decision to come and work with Cami, because you've got so many of these road miles all around the island that you can start a new stage from scratch every time in practice. Like, how was the technique? Like, would you do it like 2 passes for a stage and then go like a bit quicker? Would you practice that? Is that the kind of like the format that you'll get in the rallies that you do?
Yes, exactly. So we normally get the 2-pass recce, and then we'll obviously like do the necessary video work and stuff like that, to make sure that the notes are good by the time you're on stage. And like in Mull, we almost started like in the beginning of my time there, we started like at the bottom, and I'd just go and we'd do a recce, and then Cam was giving me lots of tips, and like, oh, what about this, think about what the road does here. So we were like just verbalizing the road. And then eventually, as you said, we would be doing like 2 passes. I'd actually go back home, well, to your house.
Yeah.
We'll chat about that now. But then I'd do the video work, and then I'd go out actually at night where you can't see over all the crests, and I'd drive the same road with the co-driver reading me the pace notes, and then see how good they are, and see where we can improve.
Fantastic. I absolutely love it. And one thing that I think is very admirable about yourself, Max, that I really like, is how you've totally immersed yourself in this world, and you've kind of set yourself that I will do this. I am going to win. I am going to do this. And I think you touched on it when you kind of mentioned about that day in the cross cart. So, on the first or the second day, when you were kind of like 4th out of 29 people, and you kind of had that, that kind of like shake of the head. Oh my God, I can actually do this. This isn't just an email that was in my dad's junk box. I can actually do this. I can become a world champion. I can go all the way here. That self-belief, and that's something that when I've spent time with you, it's an energy that you give off, and it makes me so happy to hear how you're getting on and how you're conducting yourself. Like, as you kind of said, that they were looking for the whole package, and maybe necessarily didn't win in the, or come first in the simulator rounds, but they took you on as a wild card for a reason. So, really, really big hats off, Max. It's very nice to kind of follow your story and maybe somewhat be a part of it. It's very, very exciting, and kind of see you kind of progress on.
Thank you so much, Fergus. That means a lot, bro. And exactly as you say, like just that there's something special about, when you're like, you just have to have that drive in you. And immersing myself in the sport this year has been one of the most amazing experiences of my life, man. The amount that I've learned, the people that I've met, and just the progress that we've seen, has been incredible. And we have a talent in the sport, and to put like skills on top of it now and see it coming through stage by stage, it's the most satisfying feeling in the world, man.
Absolutely. No, it's absolutely great to hear. And what age are you now, Max?
I'm 21 at the moment.
So you're 21. So forgive me for saying, but you're still a young lad, and you come all the way from Cape Town, a long way from home. Tell me about, like, off the track, obviously in this off the track podcast. Tell me off the track, what's the person behind it off the track? Like, what's the support system that you've got at home, and how are you as a person? How do you feel traveling to these places and doing these things?
Yeah, so like, first of all, starting with the support, my family is completely behind me, and that is amazing. My mom and my dad and even my brother have just been so supportive this year. And we've put a lot in it as a family to get the experience outside of the Rally Star rounds, to like gain that progression, and just like as a person, like just like really on event, like focused and passionate, outside of rally. Like I don't know, I do lots of hobbies, I like karting, surfing, freediving, and like motocross. And a bit of trail running and stuff. Like
You need to
like
slow down on them, Max. Let's talk about some of that. So what you do, a bit of free diving, a bit of, what was it, motocross, go-karting? We've actually got some go-karting. Tell me about, so have you got a go-kart at the house, do you?
Yes, I do. I've got a DD2, and it's like it was actually one of the ways before I got into the rally season that I was recommended to train, to get that sharpness on four wheels and like learn the fundamentals, because they say karting is like one of the purest motorsports because it's really simple, you're just in a frame with an engine and you going around a track as fast as you can.
Excellent. So I'm just going to put this little clip up that we've got of you. So is this a gearbox kart, or is this just a single geared, or how does this, what's the kind of makeup of this kart?
So it's a DD2, so you've got two gears. You've got first and second.
Okay. And then what, is there a clutch on the handle or something on the steering wheel? Or?
Actually, no clutch, eh?
You just bump start it.
Yeah, no, you actually can like idle in first and then just pull off. It's interesting. It's like a
right. I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. Well, let's have a wee look at this this bit of footage we've got.
Yeah, they're quick, hey. That track's also pretty technical. Our track here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And, in that little cart on the back straight, you can get up to 130 k's an hour, eh?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. No, it looks really good. Looks really good and really fun. And I was kind of like watching your driving style there. In the kind of gearbox and the quicker karts, it's a bit more difficult to be smooth, but you still looked quite smooth. Like, is that very transferable? Have you found that your driving style kind of favors a smoother approach?
100%. I would say that I have a very decisive and like almost strategic driving style, like to keep it smooth, And the kart's a good way to do that because if you even just have a little bit of oversteer on a kart and stuff like that, it can punish you on the time quite a lot. So it's a good thing to practice,
Absolutely, yeah. They're not very forgiving as far as the time's concerned. Raced a bit of go-karts myself, kind of in my early teens and my younger days, and I've certainly found how that is transferable. My driving style is certainly of more like a smoother approach, which sometimes it's more difficult for me to get on the edge and kind of really push it and kind of be more aggressive, which in the rallying world can actually be a bit more favorable, give you that little bit more time, that little bit more edge. But the kind of smoother side, perhaps you're maybe a bit of a more safer driver. You're quick up to a point, but quite safe and quite reliable. But very, very good sport. And obviously for all the youngsters that are watching this, like if they're thinking about getting into their go-karting, or if they're fortunate enough to be in a position that they can do that with their family, it's absolutely fantastic. I would say you would agree with that, Max.
Yeah, 100%. And it just even sets you up with such a good base for all motorsport in cars, because lots of people do see it as a really good fundamental to have, and you'll learn tons in a kart.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. So kind of going back to the end of this season. So tell us, how did the season come to an end? How did you do? And have we got some big news?
Yeah, we do, man. So yeah, the season was really good. We podiumed 3 out of the 4 events that we did with Rally Star, and just the progression that we found stage by stage in each event was crazy. And we actually we got through as one of the 4 drivers to get to the Junior World Rally Championship for 2024. So I'm in the Junior World Rally Championship next year. And yo, man, that is amazing, you know. So
I'm
lots
so
of hard
proud of
work.
you, Max. I'm so proud to hear that, brother.
Thank you, Fergus. Appreciate it, my brother.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. So, how many rounds did you say you got there? So you're in the Junior World Rally Championship next year.
Yes, and yeah, so we got 5 rounds in the championship next year. We start in the like minus 20 degrees Sweden, you know, racing on the ice and the snow, and then we go to Croatia on the tarmac that side, and then next up is Sardinia, Rally Italia, and then we go to Finland, which is back on the JWRC calendar, which is pretty cool.
Amazing.
Mad event, you know, and then we finish off the season in the Rocky Mountains of Greece, you know. So
wow,
yeah, it's really exciting.
That is fantastic. Oh, that is so exciting. What a prize and what a thing for the FIA to put together. It's absolutely incredible.
It is incredible, you know. They literally they gave us 6 drivers this year that's like an opportunity to change our whole lives, you know. And we became our whole team became family this year, and it was really, really special, you know.
Excellent. And tell me this, Max, how do you think the program has benefited you, not just in the rallying sense, like opportunities that have arisen, like so for example, the other day, were you in some sort of buggy, or what was it, a Dakar vehicle? What was it you were in?
Yeah, I was actually in a full-on like top of the range Dakar car. I was in the Century CR7, which is their new car that's going to the Dakar this year. So yeah, full 4-wheel drive, like top of the class Dakar car, and man, I was just blown away with that thing. Yeah, it was my first time driving something like that, and I honestly could not believe what it can take. You know, the suspension on those things is crazy, and the engine is mad. The sound of it was amazing. I was pretty blown away with that machine, you know.
And how did that come about? So I take it none of this would have happened without the Rally Star program.
Yeah, no, man. Rally Star has given me countless opportunities, you know, and also given me the opportunity to work with other like sponsors such as Thrustmaster this year, and just like, no, it's definitely, and even just learning things about life. You know, we've traveled like so much this year, and just learned so much about myself and the world, you know. And there's still so much more to learn. But this Dakar opportunity was really, really cool to give that car a test. I got reached out by a family friend that we've actually known for a while, who owns a team that does the Dakar, and he saw my last 3 events that were like my particularly strong finishes of the year. And yeah, he was like, you know what, why don't you come try something different, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two, you know. You can like just come try something different. And I was like, there's no ways I will not do that. So I was really, really stoked, and I loved it, man. I was giggling like a little girl. Like, it was
that's
sick.
so cool. That is so cool, Max. Yeah, obviously you'd sent me the videos, and I was having a look at some of the in-car footage, and it looked a heck of a machine, to be honest. It's really good.
Yeah.
And as you said, like, it takes some punishment. Like, I was looking at some of the roads and the ruts and stuff that you were in, and the jumps. Does it just take it? You just go for it?
Man, you won't believe it. You know, like you're going to ruts like that deep, you know, and you can literally just go flat out through them and corner through them. We were hitting jumps in it, and it's just like so plush, but it's incredible. It was incredible, you know. I couldn't believe it. Like,
yeah, and that's potentially the birth of a new kind of motorsport relationship that's come off the back of this. You know, this is another thing that I really admire about yourself, is your personable kind of assets, that you're kind of confident, and you'll never walk past somebody and will always speak to kind of everything, and you're interested in everyone's story. And kind of from what I've seen, that's what's kind of given you these opportunities, not just your incredible driving style and the rate at which you learn things, which is for me, one of your best assets, but you kind of these personable assets, and building these relationships and talking to these people. When you were there, like I'm sure you would be full of enthusiasm and excitement, and that leaves a nice taste in their mouth. That's like, that was really enjoyable. We've let him use the car, and we'll probably do that again. Is it, was it a one-off? Do you think that you'll be back in that person's car again, or how was it left?
Yeah, no, possibly, man. I would say like that. There's definitely a chance, and as you say, it was a great experience, and to meet all the guys that have done the Dakar a couple of times and stuff was also cool. You learn something new and stuff, and like with regards to like the personality and stuff that you're mentioning, you yourself are very similar in that, and I think that's why we get on so well, man.
Yeah,
we from the cold swims to the runs with the dog to just absolutely being mullets. Definitely, it made my trip on that island. We had so much fun and we were just wild. So, and that's always good. But you got to be wild,
Absolutely. No, big advocate for that. If you're doing all these difficult things and putting your heart and soul into it, then you've got to enjoy it, because these opportunities don't come to everybody. So, yeah, listen, Max, it's been absolutely incredible having you on. You've really made me smile. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope that we see you going well in Sweden, your first round next year. What month is that, Max? When are we going to see you out?
That's mid-Feb, so kicking off on the 15th.
Fantastic. 15th
Thank
of February.
So much.
Watch this space. Watch this space. No, thank you so much, Max. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we know you won't need it, but yeah, super happy for you, my brother, and go and get them. Never give up.
Thank you so much, Fergus, bro. I genuinely love this call, bro. So, thanks for having me on your show, and even you, man. Good luck. I'm sure you'll be in a rally car this year too. I wouldn't put it past you. So, but I really, really appreciate it, bro. Let's go. Let's do this.